Hi everyone, Bear from Bear Reads Books. Welcome back to my channel. Great to see you again. And this is my first real video. I said, hey, welcome back last time. But I said I wanted to come up with a great idea for my first one. I thought I would do a bit of a recap of the octafinals for the Booktube Prize that is currently in progress. Now, I'm not a judge this year, so for one of the first years in a long time, I can actually speak about the books anytime I like. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go through each pool, tell you the ones I've read, tell you what I think might be a good chance. Again, these are just my opinions. I haven't read all 48 books or whatever crazy number it is, but I can certainly give an opinion from what I've seen from previous years, from what I've already read from this year, and I hope that's useful to you. So let's start off. I've been keenly watching a few videos for the announcements for the octafinals. I've got my list in front of me, and I've seen some videos about which pools people are judging for without any opinions of the books, but there's been some really good books. What I can't see here is glaring omissions, things that should have been somewhere on this list that aren't. If I've racked my brain for fiction that should have been here, and I can't think of anything. So I think it's a great list, and there's some really interesting choices here. Now, let's have a look at Group A. So I'm not going to read out all of them, but luckily in each of the groups I've read at least one, sometimes more. So in Group A, the one that my very next read that I'm due to read right now after I finish my next book is The Rabbit Hutch by Tess Gunty. Heard great things about it. I really hope it does well. The reviews online have been excellent. It just sounds different, quirky, and I really want to see it do well. Other ones, when you've got authors like Celeste Ng in there for Our Missing Hearts, that's a great opportunity for someone that maybe hasn't released a book in a few years to do really well. So I think Our Missing Hearts may do really well. Also, Barbara Kingsolver with Demon Copperhead could also be a really strong showing in Group A. I mean, I think every book she writes is well received and well reviewed, and I think it can't but do well. I haven't heard anything bad about it. In Group B, I have read The Book of Goose by Yi-Yun Lee, and unlike a lot of people, I didn't particularly like it. It didn't get me. I thought it was dark and had lots of foreboding. I felt like something was going to happen, and then it just didn't. It seemed to just fizzle out into nothing. So for me, it was a pretty disappointing book. I'm not surprised it's there. It's certainly been very well received. It's just for me, I hope it doesn't proceed. I don't think it deserves to proceed. Things that I have heard things that I think will proceed. Lucy by the Sea by Elizabeth Strout. Elizabeth Strout shows up on all of these Booktube Prize groups every time she releases a book. I haven't read a single one of them, but I'm guessing that will be well received as well. As does Sylvia Moreno Garcia. Every book seemingly that she writes shows up on this list, and they're a little different from the stuff that usually gets put onto a prize list or even the Booktube Prize list, being her like dark gothic fantasy or magic set in Central or South America. Different books than everything else in the group, but they always seem to show up. They never seem to get right through to the end, but they always seem to be there. And I like her writing, so I hope she does well again. I hope she proceeds through a few rounds. The other one that I've heard great things about is Alif Batuman's Either Or, and I haven't read it yet, and it's seemingly hard to get here in Australia. I think I'm either going to have to buy an ebook version or go and order it online somewhere. So just in my normal book shopping, I haven't been able to find it anywhere. But I know it's been received very well, and I think that will progress quite well through the rounds. Group C, you can't go past Douglas Stewart, Young Mungo. It's a prize winner in pretty much any prize that is going for literature in the world today. So it's always going to be considered, and it's always going to be a top runner, considering Shuggie Bain, the last book by Douglas Stewart, did so well in all of the prizes that you think this one also will do really well. What I have read in this, and Trust by Hernan Diaz. Again, another one I've tried to get, I really want to get. I've heard fantastic things about it. I hope it does well. I think that's a really good pick in this group as well. The one I have read and really enjoyed is Hilary Mantel, Emily St. John Mandel for Sea of Tranquility. Again, her books show up in this prize every time that she writes a book, and they are all excellent. They are all superb and dark and really interesting reads that have lots of science mixed in with them and lots of dystopia mixed in. They're really very, very good. Again, they never, like Sylvia Moreno Garcia, they never seem to progress past the first or second stage. I don't know why. Maybe the breadth of appeal across the judges is not there, obviously, but I really hope Sea of Tranquility progresses. It was a fantastic read. D, I am currently as in right now, I'm currently reading Case Study by Graham McRae Burnett. Sorry, I'm still referring to my notes as well. But I'm currently reading this. This is great. And I wasn't expecting it to be. While I was holidaying in Scotland over Christmas and New Year, I bought a couple of Scottish authors, one of which was Jenny Fagan's Luck and Booth, which was good and very, very weird and gothic and horror-filled. This is also good, a Case Study by Graham McRae Burnett. Thoroughly enjoying it, about a psychiatrist who someone believes may have killed someone, but they're going through the case studies of all of his psychiatric cases looking for clues. It's absolutely fascinating. And again, as a mystery, I guess you would call it, it's not something that ends up on prize lists very often, but it ended up on the Booker Prize long list last year, which again, for what is essentially a mystery, is surprising. But very, very well done. I hope it does well. Also in Group D, Ali Smith again always shows up, but I was never a big fan of her seasonal series, the Summer, Autumn, Winter, Spring. It was never really got into them. I thought they were a bit pointless and dreary, to be perfectly honest. And I haven't read Companion Piece, and I hope it's better. I'm not sure, but I'm sure just having Ali Smith in the pool gets her through at least the first round or into the second or third round. The other one on this list is Geraldine Brooks's Horse. Now, Geraldine Brooks writes a lot. If you Google her name, there are lots. She writes a lot. And I have not read a single Geraldine Brooks book. And I haven't seen her show up on this prize before either. So I'm keen to read that particular book, Horse, just to see how it got here. But I think possibly because of the broad appeal of Geraldine Brooks, I think it will get through and go further. Let's move on. Group E was the one group that I hadn't read anything, but Jennifer Egan I love, and I've read her book Manhattan Beach before. Loved it. I thought it was great. She writes beautifully. I think The Candy House will do well. Lessons, similarly Ian McEwan's Lessons. It's Ian McEwan. Why wouldn't you send him through to the next round? And similarly for Maggie O'Farrell, after Hamnet a couple of years ago, why wouldn't you send The Marriage Portrait through at least a couple of rounds? So I think they're the three obvious showings in that group, even for the ones that I haven't read. They're the three obvious showings that I think will do well there. Group F, I've read 3 out of the 6 already, and they're all good. I really want to see Cormac McCarthy. I haven't read Cormac McCarthy's The Passenger. I really do want to, and I'm sure just for the name alone he will get through. It's going to be a tough group for really good books to get through. Probably Group F is the one group that is going to be whoever misses out will be sorely missed. I think any one of these could have gone further. You've got The Passenger by Cormac McCarthy. You've got Claire Keegan's Foster. And after small things like these a couple of years ago, which was one of the few reviews I did about a book while I was on my little absence, hiatus, whatever you want to call it. And my review simply was, I think I've read the most perfect book in the world ever. That was my entire review of Claire Keegan's Small Things Like These. And it still stands. I still think it is the best, or if not the best, but close to the best piece of writing I've ever read. Foster, not quite as good. Didn't quite grab me. But still, for a small package, it does so much. I think Claire Keegan is amazing. I've heard amazing things about Karen Joy Fowler's Booth, and I've got that on my list to read very, very soon, probably after Graham McRae Burnett. I've read Layla Motley's Night Crawling. It was quite a ride. Quite a ride into all sorts of weird, wonderful places. It didn't, in the end, grab me as being superb or excellent. It was a wild ride and probably nothing more than that. So I'm not sure if any of them might drop out that might be Night Crawling. And what I would love to see go all the way to the end is Kate Atkinson's Shrines of Glory. I think anything that Kate Atkinson churns out is amazing. Shrines of Glory is amazing. It was superb. I read it at the beginning of this year, and I know we're only in March, but it is still one of the best books I've read so far this year. It's great. So that's Group F. I think that's going to be the most hotly contested group so far. G, I've only read one of these, and the others I didn't really know much about, and the one I've read is Percival Everett's Dr. No. It is hilarious. I did read The Trees a couple of years ago, and it was great. I think this is another step up. It is, for a prize book to be hilarious and as intellectually stimulating as Dr. No is almost unheard of. It is such a laugh out loud book, and so intellectually interesting, all wrapped up in this strange Bond-like espionage story or a heist story. It's quite a marvel of a book. I would like to know your thoughts on this one, because I have thoroughly enjoyed it. I would appreciate it if you would too. I'd like to know if you enjoyed it as well. For everything else in Group G, I have zero knowledge and zero to say. And I'm sorry about that, but Dr. No is my pick for Group G because it's the only one I've ever read and because it's awesome. So let's move on to Group H. Tomorrow, Tomorrow and Tomorrow, which is right here. Tomorrow, Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. I haven't read yet. It's on my list as soon as I finish one, I'll pick up this one. And again, well received, and by all reports an excellent book. And by the sounds of the story, it is something a little different. Like it breaks new ground for stories, and so I hope it does well. Also in Group H is my favourite author to hate, Taylor Jenkins Reid, because of a book she wrote 4 years ago now, that I really went to town on Booktube in one of my very first videos for my hatred for that book. I still get comments on that video from 3 years ago about the hate that I gave that book. And over time, the comments have gotten more supportive, but close to the publication of the book 2 years ago, most of the comments were about, how dare you, this book changed my life. And I went, rightio. So Carrie Soto is Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid makes it on to this. I think again she's one of those authors that because of her name and because of her previous book, she will make it through to the next round for her broad appeal. I don't see that broad appeal. I haven't read Carrie Soto is Back. Maybe I should, but after my experience with her previous books, I really don't want to, which again taints the way I would read the current book. So I don't know, I need to try and clear out all of that negativity before I tackle Carrie Soto is Back, because otherwise I'll instantly hate it for no reason whatsoever. So I need to figure out a way to clear that out before I pick up this one, to give it a critical eye and a non-judgmental eye, rather than just going, oh, the last one was rubbish, so this one must be rubbish. So that's all the pools. I did not look at non-fiction at all, and I apologise for that. I looked through the list for non-fiction and I barely recognised any of them, and I hadn't read any of them, so I can't comment on non-fiction. Fiction has always been my bag anyway, but it is a great list. As I said, no major omissions, some cracking good books on there that will be up for much larger prizes than the Booktube Prize, like Booker and all of those other international and national prizes. These are really great books on this list, and some really good books that are of very broad appeal that aren't usually on prize lists, which is also very, very good to see. So that's my wrap up of the Booktube Prize 2023. Good luck to all those judges judging this year. I wish you all well. I know how hard it is to get through 6 books followed by another 6, another 6, another 6, all the way to the finals. It's a tough slog sometimes because you don't always enjoy the books that you're reading, and they're not necessarily books you would choose to read yourself. So good luck to all of you, and thank you for Robert for setting this up again this year, because it's an amazing opportunity to be a judge for people like me who are just visitors really, but it's a great opportunity for people to judge a competition that is trying to do really great things in the community. So thank you, Robert. Thank you to all the judges. And that's it. That's my wrap up of the Booktube Prize. Enjoy your reading, everyone, and I'll talk to you again soon. Thanks. Bye.